Welcome to Happily Ever Afters, where love doesn't stop at romance. Join us as we share the tales of everyday magic and celebrate life's sweetest moments. Hear inspiring accounts of love, intimacy, and pure joy as we uncover the secrets behind true devotion and partnerships that really work. Brace yourself for a full-on heart melting. Here's your host, Carlos Clemente.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome again to Happily Ever Afters. I'm Carlos Clemente, and my beautiful co-host is here, Dorothy Lucy. How are you?
Hey, everybody.
All right. Another great show for us today. Now, this young lady I have met, in the few minutes I have with her, I've never felt so much energy. And when she starts talking, you just have to listen and let her go, because she's just going to just give you that energy back. Our guest is Monroe Brown, and she can sing, she can dance. She's just multi-talented in so many different areas. And she has her boo with her today, Ray Bajul. I said it right? Okay, good. All right, they have a great story, and let's just get to it. Tell us how this magic started. Especially, he's an Army guy. I know you're both from Louisiana.
Yes.
But how did the Army get to you?
Like extrovert, introvert, which,
Yeah.
I mean, opposites attract. My husband and I are like that, too.
Yeah, you're somewhat correct about that. As much as it may seem we're different, intellectually we're a lot alike.
And you
We
guys
like
met,
the same things.
you guys met on LinkedIn, which I don't usually think of as a dating app, but
Well, he reached out to me on LinkedIn, and back during that time, I just really wasn't interested in dating anybody. So I told him not to ever call me again.
like the first message you got and you said,
No, we were talking. We were talking
Okay.
at first. We were kind of going back and forth and talking a few times, maybe a couple of months. And then one day, I just realized it was like, well, I don't want to be in a relationship with anybody. So I told him, not to ever call me again. Don't text, don't call, or anything. Just no, don't do it again.
and
And a year later, that happened in October of 23. And then a year later, in October of 24, he reached out to me again and he said, would you like to have coffee? And I said, I know coffee, girl. Boy, what is your problem? Do
Ray,
you want to take me out to dinner or not? And just because I brought it up doesn't mean I suggested it. So you got to ask.
wow.
And so he asked. And so I went out to dinner with him. And I think probably since we started dating in November of last year, I know we've been on at least 75 to 100 dates.
Wow. Ray, how can you make and find romance in a LinkedIn profile?
it must have been a really good profile.
That's awesome how you did that. What did you see?
Well, it was more, she was involved in politics and some of the social issues, which being a former military guy and an analyst, you look at all this stuff. So I thought it'd be, I wanted to pick her brain, go to coffee, go for some coffee and see what builds from that. It was based on a mutual interest.
And when you finally met face to face, did that magic come out then, or did it take a lot of conversations to finally mold things?
Well, for me, I thought it was great. It was just really good conversation because there are people that can talk in depth about a lot of things that we're both interested in. And we could talk one piece, move to another piece, go back to the original piece, and just offshoot from each thing. And it kept the dinner was very interesting. The conversation was never dull.
I
Monroe?
did not like him at all.
Did you again say,
did
leave me
not.
alone?
I just gotta be honest. I just did not like him at all. And then I began to realize that we were so much alike. And then I started to realize, hey girl, you're getting older. You better sit your butt down. You know, doesn't matter how good you look or how young you look, none of those things matter. You don't want to end up alone, a good looking old granny. You know what I mean? I see a lot of those strolling around Shreveport and South.
Okay,
That didn't that
Monroe,
didn't really fit.
I know how, what's the word I want? Uh, How excited you can be when you start talking about things. All right, you just, there's a lot of energy there.
Yeah.
All right, you're dealing with
He's
a
super smart. I like that. That was what I really liked. I was like, damn. Every time I tried to find something wrong with this poor man,
Mhm.
and then it'd be like, damn, he's smart though. Like I can have a conversation with him. And we laugh a lot, we joke a lot, we're not serious a lot, and we just have a lot of fun. And so of course now I do adore him.
Ray, as a former military officer, everything has been kind of regimented in your life. And so you meet this woman that is just full of enthusiasm, full of energy. How did you learn to enjoy that? It had to bring something out in you that made you want more as well.
Well, yes, I think so because you can get locked into yourself so quickly. And she quite often reminded me, "Hey, there's a whole great big world outside of your head. Come on, let's go." And all the discoveries we've had and conversations we had has really just opened me up much more and broken through the barriers that I put up or had to put up in my former life.
And I love that you asked her out for coffee and she said no. And now you guys say like your morning coffee dates are
Yeah.
the best time of the day for you.
Yeah, that's about the only thing we may have an argument over, whether if we're gonna have morning coffee or not. Because outside of that, our disagreement sounds like, Cold War summit conversations. Ain't nothing going on. And it just kind of turns into a joke every time, you know? And so I think when you respect the other person and you say, hey, is what I'm about to do gonna bring us together or will it divide us? And so once you figure little small things out like that, then you kind of know how to really be with the person.
Well, and I read something you said that you have to decide to be happy. That it's really a
Yes.
decision people make.
Yeah, you got to make up your mind. Either you're gonna be happy or you're not. And when you bring someone else into your life, you have to consider how they feel about different things. You can't just make sole decisions and reap the mutual benefits, that kind of thing. So I just think it's simple. I think if you like being around somebody enough, I think it just comes natural.
Do you sing
When I
to
met
him?
Carlos, I just liked him, because he had that inward cockiness. You couldn't see it. He's not like, oh, I'm Carlos Clemente. He's more like, how are you? Hi, tell me something about yourself. It's so
She's trying to
interesting.
butter me up for some reason.
Yes. And I said, I like Carlos, the Carlos guy. Oh, yeah.
Have you sung to him? Do you sing to him a lot?
Yeah, yes.
Um,
I've on a couple occasions, including one on a stage, a cappella, and it was really
oh,
good.
yeah, I forgot I did do that. Yeah, one night we went to this place in Shreveport called the Noble Savage. Shout out to Noble Savage. We've been going there for years. And it was just a place where musicians would come and jam. And even, celebrities, when they're in town, they'll walk through, Noble Savage. And so me, my girlfriend, Grace Ann, and Ray, we met up there one night after dinner. And they wanted me to sing. And I said, okay. And of course, I can't remember what I sang. What did I sing? At last, my love has come along. I sang that, and everybody sang it with me, and had a good time.
Yes.
Did the first time you heard her sing, what did that do for you, Ray? I mean, did an electricity just shoot through you? Because I know if she was singing that song, she was singing it to you. So,
Yeah.
Yes, and I would say people that can sing, and people that can sing very well is just when they can sing very well and they look at you while they're singing, that's electric.
do you sing?
Oh no, oh no. And she's asked me not to, so
Every day I said, baby, please don't do that. If you know that bothers me, why do you keep doing it? And he'll do it again.
I'm just trying to give you the gift of music like you gave me.
And I know God is also an important part of your lives. This beautiful love story, and all from LinkedIn.
Yeah. And this is the thing. Remember when I said earlier that I didn't like him at all? So my
Twice you told him that, I think.
Yeah. I was like, I don't like him. I had a conversation with God. I was like, are you serious? He white, right? And I was like, man, could this really be him? And that night at the Noble Savage, when I sung At Last, that was my aha moment. I knew he was the man that God had sent. Sometimes we have all these ideas about what kind of guy we want, and we hadn't been successful at it. But for some reason, we still think that our wishes should supersede what God wants for us. And of course, I just think he's just the man that God had for me. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Ray, you're a man that's done many missions in your life. This seems to be the ultimate mission for you. How did you know once you got the rejection of
Twice.
a couple times, what was the piece that kept you on this mission to be with this woman?
I can't explain it other than I was just like, hey, I got a question I want to ask, because I knew I found her conversation, her intellect very, very engaging. And since I've met her, because I'm a fairly open-minded guy, but since we've talked and we've talked about current issues, there are a lot of nuances I never really realized go on in society and relationships. And every day she shows me something a little new that stretches my horizons. So I think it's been the ongoing, every day I take something away from her, some tidbit of knowledge and love that expands what I'm looking at and where I'm going.
So I'm going to ask you, I guess, since we are talking about happily ever afters, when did your happily ever after moment come with her and Monroe? When did yours come with him? Because they didn't come at the same time. So when did each one realize you have that happily ever after moment together?
I can go first if I have.
Okay.
I think the first time we had a little dust up, and when she just remained calm and said, "Hey, let's talk about this. This is from my perspective." I realized that she was giving to the relationship, and it's something you don't see as often as you used to. And just feeling that, I was like, wow, this is the person that helps you grow, you know. Not only is she beautiful and great to talk to, but she's also there for me when, you know, through my imperfections to help me become better. And I thought that's what friends and that's what, you know, parents and people real close and really care about you do. And that was my aha moment because she really cares.
Monroe?
I'm going to say this to you. I really ended up eating my words because I was so resistant to him, you know? And then I started kind of realizing some things. But the thing that stood out the most was he would say things and make comments, little parodies, and we call them slick caps in the neighborhood. And they would be identical to things that my mother would say. You know? And I just thought, wow. Because he's never met my mother. Of course, my mother passed away 7 years ago, over 7 years ago. But he would say things, and it was almost like a message. Because it was like, how could he know those things? But he would say those things, and I knew then. I was like, uh-oh.
So this came from God.
I'm
and
going to
your-
have to apologize.
What future plans do you two have? Where do you guys go from here? Career wise, personally, what do you guys like to do together that helps keep that bond?
Well, we've got some great trips coming up this summer. I kind of have my choice of where I want to go, and I want to go to Ghana. And so we're going to go to Ghana, and then I think we're going to Oktoberfest as well.
We're going to try to make it this year, if not this year.
We're going.
We're going. We're going to find a way.
Yeah, we're going.
That's good.
You know, if he says, we're working on it, that means yes. Or if he says, oh, we'll figure something out, that means yes. Those are commander code phrases that really mean yes. You know, what is the joke you said about the pants, baby? About you, the man?
Oh,
What
yeah.
is it?
We joke around talking about men and women. And I go, yeah, I wear the pants, the ones you tell me to wear.
Y'all, I'll say y'all because you're in Louisiana. Y'all are adorable.
I always try to find
you.
quotes now, and I wrote down 2 quotes and I showed them to Dorothy, and I said, "Do you like these quotes? They're not my words, but I try to after talking, I try to figure out which one fits you today." And this one is, "Love is when silence between 2 people feels just as comfortable as laughter." That's what I see when I look at you two. And what you just told me kind of fits in with that. So I like sharing that, and
Thank you
hopefully
so
that's
much.
something that you'll carry on in the day. So
Kind words. We really appreciate it. We do.
what
We do.
advice do you have, in your own words, for each one of you, for someone to have their happily ever afters moment?
You want to go first?
Well, here's what I've learned, and I think this pertains to me more so, but it's something I carry, is when someone messes up, you have to love them a little bit more. If something goes wrong, love the person a little more. If they're having a bad day, love them a little more. So the answer is always love a little more.
For me, it's just really listening, giving a person your ear and your time, and not necessarily having an opinion or giving suggestions, just being there for that person. And I think that really helps. That really helps a person.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
being very
just
present.
Yeah, just listen to them. Sometimes you just want to let off some steam, And you need that friend to say, hey, look, it's okay. I understand how you feel. And then you go have a burger and a margarita.
That's more your style.
Oh, thank you
All
guys.
right. We're short on time now, but Monroe, I'm going to ask for a request.
Sure.
Can you kind of sing us out?
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to sing the same song. It is within the theme of Happily Ever After. At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over. And life is like a song. Oh, yeah, yeah. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you and I found a dream that I could speak to. A dream that I could call my own. And I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I never known. Oh, yeah, yeah. And you smile, and oh, and then the spell is cast. And here we are in heaven, for you are mine at last.
All right. Thank you. That just sent chills. Ray, proud man. Be a proud man right now.
I am.
Wonderful woman. Monroe, you got a wonderful man. Love each other. And thank you for being on Happily Ever Afters.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can join us on the UBNGO network, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Anywhere you get
Anywhere,
podcasts.
YouTube. But join us, subscribe, like, just let us know that you're enjoying the show. Thank you again. Dorothy, love you.
Love them.
Love them. Good night, everybody.